People always want to correct their spouse when the spouse do something wrong, but never uplift, thank, or reassure them when they do something right. I'm not talking about right then and there in that moment, thanking them as they doing the action. That's natural for us to do, to not be rude. But you know how if your spouse do something bad, you will say something right then and there. Then you'll bring it up on a later date. Then you might even bring it up multiple times later on. Do that with the positive stuff too. How are we actively creating bad marriages? A relationship or marriage is the product of two people coming together. I don't want to use the terms relationships, boyfriends, girlfriends, and stuff like that, because that's not the highest expression of what we're talking about. And it's best to use the highest expressions when we're talking. So I'm going to say marriage, husband, and wife. The probability of your marriage being successful has a lot to do with the traits of the two people who are coming together. There are two meanings to the word traits. One being a quality or characteristics, like personality type vibes. The other one is referring to genetics. So y'all's traits determine the success of what y'all produce, y'all marriage. To get a better understanding of how y'all marriage can either be healthy or unhealthy based off y'all traits, let's discuss something called eugenics and dysgenics. Eugenics is improving the human species by selectively mating two people together with desirable hereditary traits, and the offspring will be better suited to succeed. Dysgenics is the opposite, arranging reproduction within the human population in a manner that creates or enhances certain traits or characteristics to the detriment of the targeted offspring. An example of eugenics is a spiritual community or a religious community telling the members in this community to wait to marriage to engage in sex, so its members heighten the chance of avoiding the stresses of single parent households and trying to force some toxic to work for the sake of the kid. All of which affects the people currently in that community and the offsprings of the people choosing to follow or disobey these practices. For another example, let's say a woman is very intelligent on the knowledge of food, and with this intelligence, it leads her to eat in a way that prolongs life, make her body operate at an optimal level, mentally, physically, and spiritually. This woman then gets with a man who is great at understanding the science of business, and he is very successful in his entrepreneurial career. He's very intelligent on the science and knowledge of masculinity, femininity, religion, and how to build a strong family inside and out. Then say both of these people are humble and willing to learn from one another. This is a eugenics type situation. The main of these two people will bring out the best traits in offsprings that will thrive in their society more than likely. For dysgenics, let's say two obese people get together, two drinkers, two smokers, two violent or negative people, and these two people are very poor financially. There's a high chance that the child that they have in this state will experience a low probability of succeeding financially, being healthy, and excelling academically. The parents are the teachers, guiders, and molders of the offspring. If the parents aren't living good, that means the knowledge that they got in their head ain't the type of knowledge that can guide or produce a good outcome. Likewise, when two people don't have good knowledge in their head, they can't produce a good marriage. So let's go over positive and negative traits that people have in marriages or relationships, and why it's positive and negatives, and what can we do to correct it. It's so many things people do that lead to the death of their own relationships. I can try to go over all of them, but in this video, I just cover a few. If y'all rock with the video, let me know and I'll make more covering more detrimental things we do. The first thing I want to go over and discuss is defensiveness. Having a defensive spouse brings a lot of problems and friction to the relationship because they respond to feedback like it's an attack instead of just information. Yes, sometimes the person delivering the feedback may not say it in the best of manners, especially if emotions are high. But nevertheless, you being defensive, especially when somebody trying to communicate that they are unhappy or uncomfortable with something that you did, is just as bad, if not worse. It's so much that goes wrong when one of the people in a relationship is defensive. You avoiding accountability. You not focusing on the thing that your partner just communicated is troubling them. Instead, you trying to just make all the attention and focus be on yourself. And a lot of times the defensive person try to flip the script and they be like, well, I wasn't wrong. You was wrong. I only did it because you did X, Y, and Z. Now let's ask ourselves, how does a defensive spouse lead to the end of a relationship? Once one person in a relationship feel like they can't communicate with the other person without it turning into a conflict, they feel like they're not being heard no matter what they say, they can't change nothing you do. Who in their right mind want to stay in this type of relationship? The only reason they might stay is not because they just love this relationship so much. They just fear the unknown. The next thing I want to bring up is an interesting take, but I want y'all to hear me out. All of us, especially men, in my opinion, should start reading more. I was telling another sister that I know one of the traits she needs to look for in a man is if he reads. To be a good leader and to make your woman comfortable with your leadership, you need to know where to go, how to get there, and how to communicate the plan and steps to your wife. You gain knowledge through reading and you increase your ability to articulate yourself through reading. Some people say, she needs to be submissive. If I say do this or do that, I shouldn't have to explain myself. I made the decision. She shouldn't ask no questions. For one, that type of leadership is earned over time from making the right decisions consistently and having her grow comfortable with your leadership. For two, even a woman who trusts your leadership may ask you questions. In the right spirit, of course. She should ask the question in a way of like, why the heck you want to do this or that? She may genuinely be asking out of curiosity because the woman who wants to grow into oneness with you may want to try to learn how you see the world so she can console you better. When a man can't articulate himself properly, too many misunderstandings take place. She not feeling heard, she feeling insecure, or she upset or sad about this or that. If you can't communicate to her in a way that eases her mind, these things just keep adding up. Don't no woman want a man that can't articulate himself. The last thing I bring up is people always want to correct their spouse when the spouse do something wrong, but never uplift, thank, or reassure them when they do something right. I'm not talking about right then and there in that moment, thanking them as they doing the action. That's natural for us to do, to not be rude. But you know how if your spouse do something bad, you will say something right then and there. Then you will bring it up on a later date. Then you might even bring it up multiple times later on. Do that with the positive stuff too. Me and my wife have frequent checkups. When we say good stuff and bad stuff and what we want each other to keep doing, what we want each other to stop doing, if we don't got nothing good to say, we don't say nothing bad at all. When you hype up the other person's good behaviors, they'll be more likely to repeat them for you and it make you more happier. And I heard a lot of brothers say, well, women too emotional, and they say it in like a negative way. But if you know this, then use it to your advantage. If she too emotional, then don't be a victim of her emotion, be an ally to them. If she get upset over small things, she'll get happy over small things too. Reassurance and uplifting words can take her to a super happy extreme, just like doing something small like not noticing her hairstyle can irritate her to a large extreme. Let's bring this video to an end because there's so many things I can say. I don't even want to just keep listing them. I want to see if y'all mess with the video first. Like, comment, subscribe, and if the video perform well, we'll do more just like this. Lastly, I have a digital product that contains every book that I ever read about family, the Black community, the attacks on us, how we can overcome them personally, how we can unify collectively and reach our goals, and build a strong family within the home that will lead to a strong nation outside of the home. And every new book I read get added to this, so it's constantly updated. If you're interested in that, or you just want to receive a free consultation call over whatever family matters that may be troubling you, please contact the email that I got located in the description. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed this video of the Don't Be a Viking podcast. Hit up the Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube. I'll holler at y'all on the next episode of the Don't Be a Viking podcast. Yes, sir, Skate.